Hello everyone and welcome to Potpourri. I'm Jonah Baker. On today's show we're featuring Operation Hope, and to tell us more about the Operation Hope we have the Vice President of the Hope Center here with us, Mr. Walter Jackson. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Jackson, today.
My pleasure.
So first let's begin with the history. How did Operation Hope come about?
I like to tell the story of our history like this.
Okay.
There's a man who enters into a Walmart late, and he's looking for the latest and greatest gadget.
Okay.
And he goes and he gets that thing, which is a camcorder. It's 1991. It's a big, bulky machine.
When they first came out,
but
right?
He's excited. And like most men, it's a toy. It's an electronic toy, and he can't wait to get his hands on it. Well, he buys it as the store closes. He comes home, makes sure his children are in bed, wife is asleep, and he goes out on the balcony to play with his toy. Like most men, he doesn't read the instructions. He's just pushing buttons. He looks down in the viewfinder and he can't believe that it's recording. The light is red. He's bringing things into focus. He's recording his first video. He has this great jubilee and experience. And he looks through the viewfinder and he can't believe what he sees. He sees 4 police officers pulling a man from a car, nearly beating him of inches of his life. And so his very first video causes him to call for medical attention and then drop his first video off to the news media to become viral, when we didn't even know what viral was in 1991. 6 months later, Rodney King has his day in court. We've all seen the video. We think it's a slam dunk. And the 4 police officers get acquitted. In that acquittal motion, $1 billion of property damage happens in Los Angeles. Citizens loot, citizens in their outrage, in their anger, destroy their very own communities. In that destruction, a 27-year-old investment banker named John Hope Bryant was watching on, local boy from Compton, Los Angeles, and looks, Compton, California rather, and looks on and decides that he's going to take an action step. Well, there are 250 organizations that also took an action step in 1992 as a result of these riots. Only 6 remain today, and we're one of the 6.
Wow.
His vision and his ingenuity and foresight in that moment was to build what he called a Hope Center, a place where people could learn the language of money. Because he thought that the only way that you would loot and destroy your own community was because you didn't feel as though you were a stakeholder in that community. You didn't feel as though you owned anything. You didn't feel as though your voice was even heard. And so the outrage from the court verdict spawned into just uncontrollable action that magnified their current condition. He decided to charter a bus, board some C-suite bankers on a bus, and take them to the ruins of the hood.
Wow.
And said, why don't you invest in an idea? That idea would be to have a Hope Center, a place where we could teach people the language of money, in hopes that this would never happen again. Since that time, we're in 273 different cities. We're in 6 countries abroad. We have 9 Hope Centers around most of our urban centers in the United States. And we're still a thriving, growing nonprofit that continues to be flexible and nimble with the times and moving in a direction impacting people financially, where we're learning and discovering that our schools are not teaching us about money. Our young people are growing up and we're learning about money by trial and error, and most of the time it's an error.
Right.
And so we're discovering financial strategy and techniques as we dig ourselves out of a hole. How much further along would we be if we didn't have to start in the hole?
Absolutely.
But we actually started at the starting line like everyone else.
Absolutely. Now, I know you guys offer many different programs, but especially you guys take an active role with the youth. So give us an overview of the different programs you have, especially with the youth.
Sure. In the Hope Center, which is our programming arm, our living room of the community, if you will, we have 2 major programs for youth. Banking on Our Future, which is our staple program, teaching young people the language of money. We have Hope Business in a Box, which basically is Shark Tank for kids.
I like that.
Where kids get together, they're partnered, they're able to think of entrepreneurial efforts come before a panel of local entrepreneurs and actually pitch their business idea. And the winners receive a cash award to begin that business process with business mentors.
Amazing.
On the adult side, we have digital empowerment is one of our portfolios, what we call our cyber cafe, where we have 14 iMac computers, 9 different computer literacy classes, and a number of different other things going on, as well as one-on-one coaching. So you can actually call the Hope Center, learn how to do PowerPoint with one-on-one with a person who is skilled in that regard. Upstairs we have personal finance, where we have 2 major staples there, called Credit and Money Management, as well as our 700 credit score communities. We believe that if you arrive at a 700 credit score, a lot of different opportunities open for you. So we try to teach people how to get there and then how to maintain that and move beyond that. We have a home ownership portfolio where we're teaching people to move from renters to homeowners, and all of the things that are happen or need to happen in between in order for that dream to become a reality. And then finally, we have an entrepreneurship program, a 12-week training program for entrepreneurs, whether they be dreamers, whether they be just selling cassette tapes out of the back of their car. How do you establish the infrastructure you need to sustain your business, not just today, but in generations, and really teaching people the concept of generational wealth. And what does that really look like? How do you introduce that to someone to move from an idea to reality?
Well, amen to that, and thank you so much for all the information you shared. Coming up, we have 2 more additional guests to talk about the business ownership and also home ownership. Stay tuned. Potpourri will return.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking.
Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Potpourri. Joining me now is Mr. Derek Graham. He is the Small Business Program Coordinator with Operation Hope. Mr. Graham, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Mr. Graham, tell us what exactly you guys cover during the Small Business Workshop.
Okay. Well, our small business classes are 12 weeks. It's a 12-week-long seminar, and we'll meet one day a week. We start with incorporation. We'll talk about how to structure your business. We'll also talk about how to leverage social media to make your business stronger. In addition to that, we also cover funding opportunities. How would you align yourself? How do you structure your business so that you're eligible for funds? And then in addition to that, we also work with everybody on the dreaded business plan. A lot of people seem to fight and be struggling with their business plan. So we try to break it down, make it simpler for them to understand, and help them develop a fully business-ready business plan.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest issue that you are hearing from business owners today and even future business owners that they are facing when they're managing their business or even trying to start their business?
I think the overall biggest issue is when it comes down to funding. I think that a lot of businesses are struggling with how can they leverage themselves and how can they align their business so that when it comes time for them to get funding, whether again it be crowdfunding, whether it be micro lending, whether it be going to the big banks and try to get major loans from them, how can you align yourself and have yourself set up properly so that you can receive funds for your company and be set up so that your company will run successfully off of those funds.
Absolutely. And we know credit plays a big role in starting a business. How do you guys teach about the credit, especially when starting a business?
Okay. One of the classes that we actually have a credit counselor come in, and they talk about the importance of your personal credit when it comes to your business credit. A lot of people think that their business credit and their personal credit are separate things, but as a small business, when you're starting into the realm and starting to open up a business, a lot of that relies on your personal credit. So we have somebody come in, talk to them about managing their personal credit so that their business can be successful.
Oh, cool. Now, also, when starting a business, I guess the big issue that many people are facing is, or a big question I should say, is whether to get a DBA or an LLC. Educate us about that. Should we do a DBA first and then move on to LLC, or which is the best?
It really comes down to what type of business you're running and how you want to structure your business. One thing that we do, that's again, at the beginning of our class, we have a lawyer come in and he'll actually talk to the class about what is the best way to go as far as you're concerned, as far as your tax assets are concerned. So that's one of the areas that we'll actually cover in our class and go over in detail. It's kind of hard just to tell somebody which way to go without knowing what they're trying to do with their business or how they want to structure it.
Okay. So, and tell us, how does social media play a big role in today's business?
Great. Social media is one of the, back in the day, most of the time people would pick up a yellow pages and go through the yellow pages and try to find a business, but now people don't do that. A lot of times now people are looking at things through Facebook, through Twitter, through Tumblr, through all the other social media avenues. So what we try to do is we try to make sure that the entrepreneurs align themselves to not only understand social media, but also be able to use social media to leverage them and put them in front of millions of people that they would normally not have an opportunity to see.
Wow. Now, with the change in the economy, how are you guys preparing business owners or entrepreneurs once they get their business to sustain their business?
Okay. One of the things that we really focus on is setting up your business so that you can move with the times. That's why we actually bring in professionals to come in. Our class is kind of structured where we'll do part of the class, we'll do a lecture series, and in addition to that, we'll have speakers come in. We had a lawyer come in from here in Atlanta. We have local business owners come in and talk about their experiences as entrepreneurs. So by doing that, we try to make sure that we align the business owners so that as their business grows and as things change, they're right along the lines with those things. They're right along the lines. Like you said, a lot of times, a lot of the business owners now are using Facebook more than before, using Facebook more than they use the yellow pages or more than they use, search engine or anything like that. So we try to just make sure that they understand and really have knowledge of how to use those things.
Okay, and tell us how, our reviewers, how they can sign up for the program.
Okay. If you're anybody who's interested in the program, all they have to do is contact our office at 404-228-0155. And we'll walk them through the instructions on how to get things done and how to get set up in the class.
Okay, I know now you say it's 12 weeks long, but what are the time frames?
12 weeks long. Our classes run on Tuesday evenings from 6 o'clock to 8:30 p.m.
All right. Mr. Graham, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
Stay tuned. We have one more guest coming up to talk about home ownership.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
It's time to join forces. Get energized. And fuel up right.
It's coming.
Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan,
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
downtown,
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Hello and welcome back to Potpourri. Joining me now is Miss Adrienne Butler. She is with the Home Ownership Program with Operation Hope. Ms. Butler, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I have to ask, I've read a headline that says owning a home is really not the way to gaining wealth. Give us your take on that.
Well, I must say I totally disagree with that. I think that homeownership is definitely one aspect of building wealth. I feel that anybody who wants to become a homeownership should be allowed that opportunity. Definitely.
All right. Now, with Operation Hope, give us the process with the homeownership workshop. What is the typical workshop?
Basically, I host a monthly homebuyer education workshop. It's an 8-hour HUD-approved free class, and within that class, we have a panel of professionals that come in and speak. We have a personal finance, credit and money management person. We have an inspector, an insurance person. We have a real estate professional, as well as a lender. And throughout the day, we give very knowledgeable presentations to the first-time potential home buyer. In addition to that, we focus on credit, which I feel is extremely important because, as you know, credit is one of the criteria that's used to determine whether or not you're a mortgage criteria or not. And what I do, I give everyone an opportunity to get a free credit report as well as their credit score. And that's something that's very exciting for our participants. They're very interested in knowing where they stand. Many people have no idea about their credit. And so one of the things that we do is make sure that before they leave that they are aware of what's on their credit.
Now, speaking of credit, what is the minimum score? I'm here 650, 550. What is the minimum score?
Great question. The minimum score really is 580 for most, well, for some mortgage companies, but we don't like to really broadcast that because the better your credit score, the better interest rate you get. So we say we'd like for you to have a minimum of a 640. And most mortgage companies like to see a minimum of a 640, but some companies will give a mortgage with a 580 credit score.
Well, that's good to know. So for the people out there that are looking at purchasing their very first home, take us through the steps in what they should do first before actually going all the way?
One of the first things that I advise people to do is to find out what's on your credit. You can get a free copy of your credit report by going to annualcreditreport.com, print it out, look at it, determine whether what's on it is accurate, whether those things belong to you, whether that's in fact, your name, your address. There are a lot of mistakes that are found on credit reports. That's the first thing. The second thing would be to, of course, contact Operation Hope so that you could come to our free homebuyer education seminar so that you can get all of the information that we have to offer you. And I'd like to also just say that all of our programs are free. Every single, there's nothing that we charge for. Every single thing that we offer is free.
Good to know.
Right. So the next step, of course, once you come to our workshop, you will be certainly more knowledgeable than you were when you came. You'll be able to ask all kinds of questions. There's a lot of mysticism about home ownership, and there really shouldn't be. You also will have an opportunity to meet people that can answer any and all of the questions that you may have. Once you complete the home ownership workshop, then you'll be in a position to either determine how much more information you need or whether you need to go into a one-on-one counseling session. And that's another thing that I offer. After the homebuyer education seminar, I offer one-on-one sessions with myself so that I can walk you through that process. So whether you have a 383 or a 783, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you are, whatever score you have, and wherever you are in that process, Operation Hope will get you to home ownership.
All right. So what if someone had a home, but we had a big foreclosure crisis in the country. So what if someone had a home at one point and lost it, and they're thinking about going back and owning a home again? What are some myths that you're hearing about that? Are they still eligible to get a new home or have another home?
Great question. There is a new program, and very few people are aware of it. And it's something that we actually will be hosting a workshop very soon to make the public more aware of. But FHA has come out with a new program called Back to Work/Extenuating Circumstances. And what that means is if you are a previous homeowner and for unforeseen reasons, say if you had a bankruptcy or if you had an illness in your family, your spouse passed, and you unfortunately lost your home as a result, you certainly can qualify now for that new FHA program with just a 1-year waiting period. So as long as nothing outside of your extenuating circumstances occurred, in other words, as long as there's nothing else that has impacted your credit negatively, you certainly can now be in a position to rebuy. And there are a lot of people now that are beginning to find out about this program, but still it's a very well kept secret. So one of our goals is to do a workshop very soon to get that information out to the public.
Sounds good. And how can our viewers reach you to talk more about the program?
Call our office at 404-228-0155, and they can ask for Adrienne Butler.
All right, so tell us about once they're in the home, what to do next.
Great. One of the things that we do talk about somewhat in our workshop, we talk about, okay, you've gone through this journey, you're now a homeowner. There are things that are going to come up that you are not necessarily accustomed to. Say you were previously a renter. Of course, as a renter, you didn't have to worry about paying for unexpected things like a toilet running over or an appliance breaking. Well, now you're a homeowner. So now what?
Right.
And one of the things that we will be focusing on and doing a workshop with as well, and also possibly starting a group of homeowners, I should say, and we will be discussing things like ways to save, ways to alleviate some of the costs that you may incur as a new homeowner. Also, maybe talk about getting a group to say, come up with a way that they can share or barter services. So we are really looking forward to helping those that have become homeowners, because it is a new and sometimes very daunting thing when when you transition from a renter to a homeowner.
Very overwhelming the process.
Absolutely.
And once you get in the home, I
go.
understand all too well.
Absolutely.
And Ms. Butler, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching Potpourri. We hope that you gained a wealth of knowledge. Until next time, I'm Jonah Baker.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist. Center.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.